wake up, get up.
Good morning, WUB.
Wake up, get up.
Put on the KREM TV.
Wake up, get up.
Good morning, WUB.
Wake up, get up.
Put on the KREM TV.
Wake up, get up.
Good morning, WUB.
Wake up, get up.
All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Friday morning, the 14th of August, 2015. We hope things lovely in your part. We hope your day to go well. It's good to have you here with us this morning, live from 3304 Partridge Street. Show is well on the way. We've completed the preliminaries. That means we don't give you the weather, we don't give you the news, and you know where come next? You. Your participation becomes the main ingredient. That's what the platform is about, getting you engaged in conversation. And to achieve that, we've got multiple access points. Primarily, we got 3 phone lines. And those lines are 222-4299, as well as 202-4409 and 202-4469. Again, let me just repeat, our telephone numbers are 222-4299, as well as 202-4409, 202-4469. We're also available online if you can't get in live, our Facebook page, WB, and our email address is at wbmorningvibes@gmail.com. I have joining me this morning, early out, special guest, Belizean, living in California, Brother Bilal Morris, a friend of our compound, and we have to say is that you're a journalist representing Belizean issues in California. So it's good having you on board. And so we get good morning, Bilal, and we get to have you live here and express some thoughts and views from the perspective of a Belizean living abroad. So it's good having you here. But you know how the thing goes. We get calls. So KREM, good morning. WB.
Good morning, Brother Mose.
Yes, good morning.
And good morning to your guest there, Belizean, no?
Morning. Brother Bilal Morris.
Okay then, okay. Short and brief, my friend. You know, for quite some time I had the intent to call and big up Moses Soul. I listened to him calling after me yesterday, and I always listen to him. And my friend, I say no, I want to big him up because for his time and efforts and dedication to country Belize, no, the land where he now really calls home. He has proven it, you know, and wherever he is at this point, if you're listening, no, I want to say to him, Brother Saul, I want to tell you thanks for contributing to nation's well-being. And one more thing, my friend, when hearing of Senator Schuman joining the Belize Territorial Volunteers on a visit to nation Sarstoon Island this Sunday, Senator Schuman is not participating as an official, but as a civil a member of nation society. That is the main reason, Brother Mose. I not become a more member of the entourage, neither do I link with any organization because of opponents who are ready to point at political mileage, you see. And again, lastly, my friend, visiting the island of Sarstoon is merely within national territory and not a revolting or rise against Guatemala or a resistance against its constitutional authority. As a matter of fact, it is my opinion, again my opinion, that the proper protocol procedure was to officially inform the OES, you see, through the Foreign Office to Guatemala from Belize. Why I have to ask permission to my neighbor to go visit my land, my God-given territory, and overwhelmingly approved by the world of nations. You understand me, my friend? Anyway, let me leave you, sir. Thanks very much for the privilege. You all take care. Have a great weekend.
So we have mentioned the multiple ways you can get in. Just a quick reminder that we do have certain restrictions. If you're going to call in live, don't use anything obscene, nothing derogatory. Be honest. No malicious or slanderous attacks, no mischief making, no singing for your supper. You're writing or something, make it to the point. Don't use emoticons or any other distractions. Don't send us anything idle or pornographic. This is the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, live from 3304 Partridge Street. And we start out with our very special colleague visiting us from Los Angeles, California, Brother Bilal Morris. Good morning again. I know that your mic was not on, sir.
Yes, sir. Greetings, Mose. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Always appreciating. It's an honor. and short little visit to Belize, call it on the ground, coming on the ground.
On the ground.
Yes, and greetings to all Belizeans out there, all beautiful Belizean people, those who are struggling, those who are on the move, those who are in resistance. And it's always a pleasure to be back home.
Excellent. Well, you're no stranger, and I'm sure you're quite current. You know what's happening, what the current atmosphere, climate is, and what the pressing issues. You have any issue you'd like to take up first?
First, I want to send greetings in the name of the Belizean diaspora in Los Angeles, you know, who it is very important that they are not kept out of the news and views and information that is happening, the pertinent, very crucial information that is unfolding on the ground. The most and foremost, the Belize Guatemalan Dispute, the present situation right now with the Belize Territorial Volunteers going to the Sarstoon. Also, we need to bridge the gap between Belizeans at home and abroad. Very, very, very crucial issue. Our people are very concerned about things like this that is happening back home, but we are still far away from bridging that gap. Through media, mass media communication, we live in a technological world. We are hoping to bridge that gap and bring our people into the debate. My organization, the Belize Rural Economic Development of Agriculture through Alliance, BREDAA, we have been embarking on a significant amount of programs over the last 25 years, informing Belizeans on our program on KPFK and the Pacifica Radio Network called Belize Caribbean Pulse, which ran for 10 years. That program was canceled, but now we continue to go up there and inform our people on these very crucial, pertinent issues. Yeah. Very, very important. We don't have the kind of listenership like we used to have when we had our own program there, but from time to time, myself, who is a programmer there, who uses different programs to disseminate information, the most important thing, apart from informing Belizeans in the diaspora, mainly in Los Angeles, which is the largest black immigrant community in Los Angeles, the largest black immigrant community, we learn from that, we learn about that from the Congresswoman Karen Bass, who I was having a conversation with about black immigration. And when she unfolded that information, revealed that information to me, I was very surprised. She says that the Belizeans in Los Angeles are the largest black immigrant. You have Latino immigration, which is Mexican, Salvadorian, Guatemalan, and so on immigration. But you also have black immigration, which includes Africans, Ethiopians, Nigerians, people from the Caribbean, and Belizeans. And the Belizeans are the largest black immigrant group. That's a power voting bloc in that area that can send a serious message at home and abroad. And the question she asks is that, are you using that power? Because these politicians are trying to get people to vote in their constituency. We have been embarking on a 25-year struggle in trying to bridge the gap between Belizeans at home and abroad. And it is coming very close. We communicate with them through mass meetings at various festivities. And the last thing that we did was the Belize Diaspora Vote Drive Initiative. And we were able to garnish about 2,000 signatures to say Belizeans abroad are interested in the decision-making process at home, in the terms of voting, and in the terms of opening up more sophisticated means of how the vote could be casted.
I think we have Yaya online, so let us take her. KREM, good morning.
Morning, Mose. Morning, Bilal. Morning, Belize. The council on behalf of COLA, Citizens Organized for the Justice. I know that radio TV, so I guess Brother Nuri the Empire said, morning, Brother Nuri.
Brother Bilal is Brother Nuri.
COLA have a 15-seater bus where they left from Pongyard Bridge, 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, at noon. heading for PG for them people who want to go up on the border expedition with Belize Territorial Volunteers. So the bus will left Pongia at 12 o'clock tomorrow, $25 per person, and only 50 people can get on the bus. So the first 15 will contact Giovanni at 664-3771, 664-3771. That they can go. As soon as the boats then come back from Sarstoon Island, the van will head back to Belize City. So the one passage for go to Sarstoon Island tomorrow, contact Giovanni, President Acola, 664-3771, $25 per person to get on the bus. Respect.
Give thanks. You were finishing up, Brother Bilal?
Yeah, and I was saying, Brother Mose, that the whole issue of bridging that gap is one of the most critical issues right now, because your people that lives in the diaspora cannot be locked out in terms of what the decision-making processes are in their home country. They are very much 100% interested. And we have run many polls and have shown tremendous amount of public opinion that they are very much concerned, particularly about the Belize Guatemalan dispute and about other things, crime and other things in Belize that are unfolding over the years.
I want to respect is due to that, and I think indeed all involved have to play a part in building that bridge and in really cutting down the distance, because there's no reason for there to be distance. And as you mentioned, we live in an age of great connectivity, and so the technology has brought down many hurdles to, being in touch and being connected, and I think we have to take a great advantage. I want to just weigh in on some of the stuff that's happening right now. The Belizean Territorial Volunteers, of course, are heading to the Sarstoon Sunday, and a lot has been said of it. There's been a lot, and of course yesterday, no less than Senator Lisa Schumann has announced that she's going, which has made for sensational news. Before I comment on that, the government keeps saying that they are discouraging the territorial volunteers from going, and they have done this in previous excursions as well. And government has the right to advise its citizens. For example, the US advises its citizens, well, we don't think you should go to a certain country for safety reasons. So it's not something that is a strange thing for governments to issue advisories. It's what they do. What I have to ask is when the advisory is inconsistent, or when the advisory is not properly explained. Now, if the government of Belize considers a part of Belizean territory to be unsafe for Belizeans, for whatever reason, if there is a part of Belize, whether up north in Corozal, or down south in Toledo, or out west in Cayo, or maybe all the way out to Lighthouse Reef, some far reaches of our nation state, to be unsafe, Belizeans going there would be running the risk of being apprehended, kidnapped, abducted, charged, hurt. One would think that the government would consistently be advising citizens to avoid such parts, because there is no obligation on the part of a group of Belizeans to make a public announcement that they are going to a certain part of the country. People get up and travel at whim. I can say, guess what? I hang out with a bunch of friends and I could say tomorrow, but I make we go there. I got to leave money for a bus, I got to leave boat where I have access to. Make we go there to Sarstoon Island.
Freedom of movement.
The freedom of movement. And I could do that without looking for publicity. Just because just as I would say, listen, if I have a, boy, make we go to Koro. Or maybe I would get up and say, boy, pack up on anything. Boy, make we go to golf ski. We do that because we know that we have the freedom to travel within Belize as it being home without requiring a visa or your passport. You're there home.
It's your country.
So an excursion can happen anytime, any day. Any set of Belizean could get up at any point in time and say they're going to travel to the Sarstoon Island. If there is a piece of Belizean territory that a government, because of its intimacy with intelligence and their dialogue with their counterparts and neighbors, know, guess what? We not consider this portion of Belize to be quote unquote safe, then how do you explain the fact that you don't have any record of issuing such an advisory before? It's like the only time you will say that there is a problem is when the territorial volunteers make a public appeal to Belizeans. So let's go over here, let's raise a flag, let's go over there and sing our anthem. On that occasion, you tell us, well, boy, everywhere in Belize safe, but they're not safe.
Yes, yes.
You're going to the border point, the Halakte, boy, everywhere in Belize safe, but they're not safe. Anything to do with exercising your and demonstrating your patriotism and dealing with sovereignty, the excursion becomes not safe. But when that excursion is finished and when all of that, the temperature for that excursion is gone, we don't find the government of Belize giving any effort at all to say, well, boy, when we say these things that because we truly love the innocent citizens of Belize, and we want them to be safe, why then don't you say, run a PSA, Belizeans, we know that you like to travel, but there are certain portions of the country, just as the US would do and say, give one advisory. I think just the other day there was an advisory to citizens to avoid to be careful in the Kamalote, Conorquie area.
To avoid Belize City altogether.
To avoid Belize City. That's what you call looking out for the interests of your citizens. You give an overall statement to say, man, we have a concern with this area. But if your advisory just comes when it's connected to one group of Belizeans and when it's connected to one gesture of patriotism, then one has to really question how sincere you are when you say, well, you are doing this in an effort to make sure that Belizeans are safe, because there are excursions which can happen any day without you knowing. Any part of Belize, now, are there other parts of Belize that Belizeans should not go? Is there a list of places that are unsafe for us because you have not provided us with this before? We did not know that there were places that our government wished us not to go and congregate. We had no idea of this before. So that I would like to point out, you know, is a government has a right to give advisory, but we have a right to question the authenticity of that advisory, to measure it, to weigh it, and then to say, but hold up. But how come you not put this out before or after? Or have on list a place that we should not go? That is my question to the government of Belize this morning.
Protocol.
We have a call. Thanks for holding, KREM. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. You're right on point when you're saying that. But the other thing is this. If the government know that those places are not safe,
then why not put the military to patrol it, to have a base, to have a site, to make sure that it's safe? But no, they don't even want the Belizean, and they don't even think of putting the military there. It's strange. It's very strange. Thank you and have a good day.
Yes, sir. You know, it's like if I'm in control of a country, Brother Bilal, oh my goodness, if you got your yard and you have your kids, and let's say there's a part of the yard where you know ants there, and you said to yourself, you know ants there, or what? Let's say you know that there's a snake there, and snake dangerous. You're going to do two things. You're going to make sure that everybody in the house know up front. Now when you're sitting and run towards the corner, you'll make them know up front when you find out that there's danger there, my friend. You know, maybe you know you just spot one Tommy Golf, they hang out in that corner of the yard. You say, we have one Tommy Golf now, you better we avoid that portion of the yard. You want to give your family one heads up.
Yeah.
But then you also want to try to know how you could, you want to do two things, you want to see how you could try to take care of that area to make sure no Tommy Golf there. And then, or maybe you want to put something to block off access to that area because we know why you're going.
That's right.
If you're really concerned, if that is your true motivation, then we have to analyze, put your behavior to see, well, how come so many blank spaces exist? But when the Belizean Territorial Volunteers say we're going to the Sarstoon, there is a big brouhaha and all about how we need to not go there. So then, all the other Belizeans prior to this, who live in Toledo and go on leave boat, maybe want to go fishing, did not know that their government did not want them there. Had no idea that their government thinks they are putting life and limb at risk by going to this portion of their country.
And which they have been going to for a long time?
Which they've been going to for a very long time. Now, let us look at what might be some justifications for their release and for their now very, very recent concern about the safety of their citizens. Is it possible that you are uncomfortable with the fact that you went out to the Sarstoon, laws of enforcement and security apparatus, and then on a national level, public level, you told your people to back down from the Sarstoon Island? So what seems to me just common sense, that you have now a bunch of Belizeans who decide, well, we are going to go to the Sarstoon Island. Is it that you are more concerned about being shown up or embarrassed? Could that be? We have to assess these things. We have to put your conduct on the measuring scale and say exactly what is your primary motivation here for saying this. There is no doubt that a government knows more than its citizens when it comes to national security. There's no doubt the government enforcement security apparatus has more intelligence. All I'm saying is if that intelligence was there before the territorial volunteers decided to go, why is it they have not sent out an advisory until now to their citizens? Okay. That's my position.
I think, Mose, when you have a organization like the Belize Territorial Volunteers that serve as a resistance movement, and it is a resistance movement, I think playing that very important role in representing the citizenry, the masses of the people. The Belize Territorial Volunteers might be just a small group of people that includes the Northern Territorial Volunteers and the Territorial Volunteers from Toledo, right? But nevertheless, they are representing the masses of the people who we know cannot connect with these political protocols when it comes into foreign affairs and international relations. They understand that. And so I think government becomes very nervous when an organization like that serves as a resistance movement. It's very, very important because they are resisting very poor, weak diplomacy on the behalf of government, where there is a situation that government needs to negotiate from a position of strength, and it's not happening. How are you going to tell me I'm not supposed to go to a part of my country, as you were mentioning, Brother Mose, that has been there all the time without sending out the proper protocols? I remember there was a demonstration against the bombing of Gaza in Los Angeles, and we showed up in the demonstration, and the Los Angeles police provided security in that demonstration. In that demonstration, while the protesters are demonstrating, there are hecklers, there are people who are looking at you and doing like this. I mean, they would attack you. And so the protocol is, in the police department in Los Angeles, is that you provide security for that demonstrating resistance group, regardless of the fact that you don't like them. This is not happening here in Belize. We understand the government made this a disputable piece of territory, but as you are rightfully saying, Brother Mose, there has to be some kind of protocol advisory in terms of all the hot spots that Belizean citizens are not to go. So this is like some Belizeans, first time they're hearing about the Sarstoon. It's like the first time they're hearing about the Sarstoon. And so I think it's a part of nervousness on the part of government when they see a resistance movement like Belize Territorial Volunteers making these kinds of sensible resistance in representing the masses of the Belizean people who are too tied up in struggling, making a living, trying to survive. If you ask a lot of them to connect to that, they can't, but they care, they're concerned, but they're too busy trying to survive. So it's so good and important that you have citizen participation on the behalf of the Belize Territorial Volunteers, citizen participation in lining with government in terms of resisting Guatemalan aggression down south. Because we have known there have been a series and years of considerably aggression. The word is aggression. That's aggression, and it has become violent. The murder of Daddy Conorquie and other things, the last Belize Territorial Volunteers, how they were dragged out into Livingston. I mean, Belizeans in the diaspora saw that and was very annoyed by that very picture. Just by the news of it. They may have been disconnected in some way, but they are annoyed by these things. And I speak for the diaspora, Brother Mose. They are concerned and they hate it. And I have said that many times when we can't do certain things with our hands to change it, Brother Mose, we have to speak out against it, which you do. And Brother Mose, you're a key part of the resistance movement. Mm-hmm. But if you can't change it with your hands and speak out against it, and our people are a silent majority, they cannot speak out because of being afraid of being victimized in various social circles. Their jobs are on the line. And so most of the Belizeans across this country, primarily in Belize City, may appear that they are not connecting with that, but they hate it with their hearts.
It's 14 minutes away from 8 o'clock. 30 minutes away from 8 o'clock. This is the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. I would be remiss not to say that I am very, very pleased of Senator Schuman's position. I think Senator Schuman, because of the platform that she has, must have been hearing a lot more than what the average citizen hears. I know that I have heard enough, and I don't have Senator Schuman's access and the people that she knows, but I've heard enough. I've heard from Will. I've heard from multiple sources, and what I've heard was enough to give me significant concern about the excursion, I think that, and it's not because this is not a natural thing. You see, it's not just, you would say, the concern is not that, oh, there's an organic environment there that is perilous. You see, it's not natural. The engineering forces above who are calculating about how they can move pieces in such a way as to create an effect for their purposes. So they're always going to calculate, maybe we can do this, pull a stunt. Maybe we can hold these people for a bit to send a message, as I think they did with taking the Belizean volunteers to Livingston. That was not organic. That was not organic. That was strategic. We have to send a message. We want you to stay in line. We want you not to, don't complicate all matters here, because we have our purposes and we've got to send your message. So it's not as if though the natural conditions around the Sarstoon Island are so ripe and so hot. It is that the issue and the people who are involved at the highest level of geopolitics in this region have the games that they play. And so the things that I began to hear, you know, I had to express my concern. I expressed how worried I am. And so I feel that maybe, I think it's very likely that Senator Schuman would have heard much more than I have heard. And so I think that it's my opinion, even if she didn't, even if she hasn't, I want to say that her decision is then a blessing in disguise. And if she has, then I think she has made a very, very brave decision. And so I want to say that I am, to go on the record, and you know, I don't, you know, I have respect for Senator Schuman, but she and I don't have any kind of relationship to speak of. In fact, the times that we have spoken on air have been more confrontational than anything else. But I must go on the record to say that I really respect, and I believe that what she has done has kind of, based on the responses that I've heard, she has kind of disturbed the equation and how they would have responded. Her move has countered some of the moves that I was hearing about. I think that she has dramatically changed the balance. This is just my opinion, and now I think they are kind of struggling to see how to respond to what she has decided to do. I have to say that I respect greatly Senator Schuman's decision, and again, I want to say before we go to break, because we're going to get traffic about a Bilal coming up, and we are going to be forced to change the conversation a bit. I want to say that what Belizeans must ask themselves, they really must now ask themselves, how on earth, if everything is so nice between our neighbor and ourselves, and if how it is that when people speak about how serious things are, they might be accused of being paranoid, then explain away how a bunch of Belizeans wanting to go to about 7,500 acres worth of mangrove, basically, in the middle of the Sarstoon. How on earth did that become a crisis? how did that become a crisis? How has that become so dramatic at the highest levels, the highest echelons of the movers and shakers? Why did it become so? Why has it become so serious? Who does it threaten? How can a bunch of unarmed Belizeans, armed only with the flag and the anthem, threaten a nation of X millions of people? And our leaders have been quick to always point out how strong their military is, how a bunch of Belizeans with flags and the anthem could be considered an act of aggression and a threat. How has it become so sensational? You ask yourself that, and ask yourself why you have been so disinterested in an issue that has caused such a big deal to this entire region and to those who are plotting and scheming. We have to confront these questions. The caller will have to wheel and come again, because we've got to go into 2 cents calm with Sister Yaya Marine Coleman. I've got to thank Brother Bilal. Actually, Brother Bilal is going to be on the Sunday review on Sunday, which is pre-recorded. Yeah, so that's coming up this Sunday at 10:30, so you can check out Bilal more extensively. We only got in him for a couple of minutes to greet. Respect is due, brother.
Good
having you here. Yeah, man.
Thank you very much.